Hello everybody, welcome to Jurong Frog Farm. My name is Chelsea and I'm a frogologist here. Today I'm going to take you on the tour in Singapore's only American bullfrog farm. Now, we are going to learn about the life cycle, the characteristics, and also discover all their uses in food and science. So come follow me. Now, Jurong Frog Farm was started in 1981 by Mr. Wan Bok Tiao, and he happens to be my father. So he wanted to introduce American bullfrog to our agriculture industry because he saw great potential in it. And therefore he started the business with the help of PPD, the Primary Production Department then, which is now known as Singapore Food Agency, the SFA. So in 1994, we have to shift out of Old Jurong Road to Lim Chu Kang because the government wanted to cluster farmland, and this area is what we call the Kranji countryside. Now, we're ready to start our virtual tour. Those with the Frog Quest activity sheet. Your adventure starts here. Follow me. Take a look behind me. What does it read? Jurong Frog Farm. We're now entering into the world of the American bullfrogs. Jurong Frog Farm is 2.7 acres and we breed American bullfrogs and other edible fish. And these animals give us food and other useful products. So in the wild, American bullfrogs are carnivores, means they eat anything that can fit into their mouth in the wild. But on the farm, we feed them with very specific food called the fish meat pellets. Take a look at this. So all these high protein pellets will help them grow to a good size in time to come. Let's go feed them. Oh wait, I forgot my boots. Right now, the frogs look like they're lazy because they're conserving energy in the daytime so that they can be active at night. So we call this the nocturnal animals. They're also huddled close to one another because they're preventing moisture from evaporating from the skin. Now, they look hungry. Let's feed them. Now that the frogs are fed, they look pretty happy. Let's listen to their contentment. Did you know that the louder the frog croaks is indicating the changes in weather patterns? So the louder they croak, the more possible that it will rain right here in Jurong Frog Farm. Another reason for them croaking is usually the male frogs croaking really loudly to attract the female counterparts. And we call that the mating call. Now, this is your first glimpse of the American bullfrog. So how do you tell the difference between the male and the female frog? So in my hand here, you can see on the right side, the one with the yellow color neck is a male, because in the wild, usually the male have to be better looking to attract the female. Female have a white color neck on the other hand. The second way to tell the difference between the male-female frog will be by the size of the ears. Look at this round thing next to the eyes. These are what we call the eardrums. The male have larger eardrums so they can listen better to the female. So now there is a third way to tell the difference between the male-female frog, and that will be by the size of the thumb. Looking at the female and the male frog's thumb, the male frogs of course have a larger thumb compared to the female. Now, the frogs have found their mates. So let's move on to the mating ponds and see how it all begins. Follow me. Behind me is the mating ponds. We have to whisper here so to give them enough privacy to do their thing. On the coconut leaves is where the male and female frog will find their own spouse, and they will hug each other in the embrace, what we call the amplexus, and in the matter of days start to lay eggs. The male frogs will fertilize the eggs with the sperm into the water in what a process we call external fertilization. Looking at the eggs here, you can see the ones that are unfertilized are opaque in color and they will sink to the bottom. And this will never become tadpoles. But fertilized eggs, on the other hand, are clear, transparent, and they will likely turn into tadpoles in a matter of days. When tadpoles start to swim in the water, that begins the stage 2 of the frog's life cycle. Now let me show you where the tadpoles are. Follow me. This is our tadpoles pen. In about a month, all these tadpoles will undergo a magical transformation called the metamorphosis. The tadpoles' hind legs will start to grow, followed by their forelegs. And their long tail will start to shrink and disappear, leaving behind a vent. This is due to cell death and a process we call apoptosis. what will also change is the way they breathe. The tadpole's gills will start to develop into external lungs, and this enables them to live on land. So we call that stage frogs, and that's what we call the amphibians. So now that they can complete the life cycle, they are able to live on land and water. These are our market-ready frogs. They can't live in an environment where the water level is too high. It causes salt imbalance in the body and they will die. They can't live in water that's too shallow either, because when the skin dried up, they can't breathe. They only breathe through slimy skin so that the skin, they take in oxygen from the water, and when they're on land, they breathe through lungs. Now, do you know that Jurong Frog Farm also breeds fish? Now let's take a walk down to the back of the farm to visit some fish ponds. This is where we rear the fish. We have small snakehead, catfish and tilapias. Fishes are great to rear in a place like Singapore. They're high in protein and most importantly, they're good to eat. Now let's give them some food. What a walk! So now that we have seen the home of the American bullfrog, we should also understand a little bit about what they can give us. So on this farm, we actually embark on the zero waste missions, try to reduce the waste that we throw out on the daily basis. We work with scientists and also biomaterial researchers to try to extract out all these useful ingredients out of all these offcuts. So by offcuts, we mean frog skin, frog fats, the bony parts. So one of the products that we have is a mosquito repellents fortified with collagen inside. So this not only hydrates your skin but also protects you from bugs. So the other product that we have that we've been selling for decades is what we call the Hashima snow jelly. This comes from the female reproductive organs called the oviducts, and again it contains lots of collagen protein and also 18 kinds of amino acids, and that helps to metabolize nutrients that you eat on the daily basis. Now let me show you some other products that we have. These are bullfrog legs, which is what we retail in the supermarkets. So can you imagine all the bony parts of frogs? Where do we use it on? So with the help of expertise from vets, we actually managed to open up a new market called the Novel Meat Series, and now we introduce all these minced American bullfrog meats for pets. So this helps especially with pets with special needs, those with skin issues. They actually take this meat and see themselves recovering a lot faster. So by making all this kind of expansion into new territories, we managed to save up to 75% of what we used to waste. Isn't that quite an achievement? So now, seeing the long list of products that American bullfrog is able to give us, don't you think frogs and farmers both deserve our appreciation? Now we have come to the end of the tour, and I'd like to remind you that many of our world frogs are endangered and many of them are extinct. So what can we do to protect these little amphibians? Firstly, we shouldn't litter or pollute the environment. Try to give them as natural as possible an environment for them to thrive in. Secondly, practice your 3 R's: to recycle, reduce, and reuse, so that your earth remains beautiful for these little creatures. On a parting note, I would like to ask you to visit us at Jurong Frog Farm and see the frogs for yourself. We are open on all public holidays, school holidays, and all weekends between 9 to 5. So join us on Instagram and Facebook as well to keep up with updates. So until then, take care and goodbye.